and welcome once again to Velvet Owl Watches Movies So You Don't Have To. The only podcast out there that features Velvet Owl watching movies for the sole sake of you not having to watch them. Yeah, I know this is like a fucking, like, just such an overdone podcast idea. Like, oh, I'm watching bad movies and talking about them and how bad they are. And yeah, I will continue to do it because it is fucking easy. Like, seriously, you want to start a podcast? Do one about bad movies. Just watch a bad movie and recount the plot, and that's like 90% of the humor right there. Just choose the right movies, and it does the work for you. So, this week, I am doing... What movie am I doing? I forget. Best Night Ever, which I'm finding on Tubi, but it is gonna expire in like 6 days. So by the time this movie is up, or this episode is up, this movie will no longer be available on Tubi. And so I'm viewing this as a challenge if I can finish this. Because if you're new to the podcast, or semi-new, because I don't mention this like all the time, but I watch these movies in pieces, because this isn't my day job. I don't make money off of this, so I don't really like focus like a lot of time. I just kind of do it whenever I have like the free time to get some of it in. So I usually kind of watch like anywhere between like 10 to 30 minutes at a time. So, and whenever I can fit in free time. So sometimes it could take like a whole week for me to watch and record an episode. So will I be able to finish this before it expires and it's gone forever and I'm not going to bother looking it up, and I'm not going to save this and wait till I can find the rest of it. Just however much of the movie I manage to get, that's what's going up. So who knows? But anyhow, Best Night Ever, directed by Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer, who you may know as being like responsible for any of the parody movies that end in movie, like Date Movie and Disaster Movie and Epic Movie and This Is a Shitty Movie. I think that's what they all should be called, because they are very, very shitty. Just really bad attempts at parody, nowhere near the level of like Mel Brooks or, you know, Hot Shots, the Naked Gun films. Nowhere near that level. Just tend to be lazy. So, but this isn't called something movie. So I don't know if this is going to be like a straight up like bad parody as their other movies are. But I was reading online. This description doesn't say it, but I just saw somewhere someone mention it, that it's a found footage type film about a bachelorette party. So let's see. This is gonna be awful, because fucking Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer. And they're very much with bad taste in their films. So, you know, bad taste pretending to be raunchy. So let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna start off and say I am very, very fucking disappointed. This is a Blumhouse production. What the hell? I like Blumhouse. They are pretty good when it comes to like horror movies. Not perfect. They have a lot of shit in their catalog, which I'm guessing this movie is part of the shit side of things. But, you know, they've got like Get Out and the Purge movies. The whole Purge franchise. I mean, some of it's awful, but even the awful installments of the Purge I like. I really like that concept. Although, why is it only murder? Why is that the only crime people go for? All crime is legal. Insider trading is legal on the Purge night. And that is the crime that keeps on giving. But anyhow, Blumhouse has allowed these fuckers to make a film. You know what? Let me keep an open mind. Might be a good movie. But probably not. We start off at the bachelorette party at the strip club, and the girls are there, and this guy's completely naked and grinding on the bride-to-be. Pretty much the best way to describe it is, have you ever watched any of the Dancing Bear videos on Pornhub? Basically like that, except the guy's not wearing a bear costume. But yeah. And this is censored, so like his big black cock, did I mention that he's black? Because I guess it's really not relevant except for the fact that I want to say big black cock. It's censored. There's the censored bar over it as it's like flopping about. I don't know if there's an unrated version of this movie out there where his dick is just in full view. But if you want to see that, Dancing Bear on Pornhub, those videos will give you what it is. And then we get the rewind because, you know, this isn't even though it's the beginning of the movie, it's not the beginning of the story. So we get the rewind like, ooh, how did we get to this point? Except usually when they do that, like you're at a point of like, oh my god, what the fuck's going on? Not just okay, they're at a stripper party and the guy's like waving his dick in her face. That's what I expected anyhow, like, so I have no like intrigue of like, oh my god, how did they get to that point? I know how they got to that point. They decided to have a bachelorette party, went to a strip club, and paid for the dancing bear who's not wearing a bear costume. I don't know, is there like an actual term other than just male stripper? I like the dancing bear term. But, you know, now we get the rewind back to the beginning, and this is all being videotaped because it's, you know, found footage film. Woohoo! I feel like there's other ones, aren't there, of like bachelor parties? But yeah, so, you know, there's the 4 women, and conveniently, we've got a blonde, a brunette, a dark redhead, and a light redhead. So it's going to be very easy for me to keep track of who's who. And they're on their way to Vegas. Dark redhead is the one who's going to be the bride-to-be, and you know, it starts off with all of them talking like, oh, I'm in love, we're such great friends, and punch buggy, punch buggy, punch buggy. And a punch buggy. Like, there was like 6 punch buggies. Okay, we got the joke. Jokes work in rules of 3. So I guess 6 works, right? Because then you did it twice. So, it's a multiple of 3, so I guess it works. They stop at a rest stop because they have to pee and buy booze, and then they drive, and they're playing music loud, and Light Redhead, who's the sister of Dark Redhead, you know, she doesn't like all this loud music, but, you know, she's not going to piss on their parade. They're going to party! And finally they make it to Vegas, and Light Redhead, who's made, like, the complete itinerary, is going over, like, oh, we're going to go into the hotel, and then we're going to have dinner, and then we're going to go see Celine Dion, which, gag. No wonder the rest of the girls are all like, ugh, this is a horrible itinerary. Where are the foot-long cocks? I don't know, lady. But then this car pulls up next to them, and the guys are like, show us your tits! And Light Redhead, she's like just disgusted, like, hey, well, show me your balls! Which one of the guys in the car complies, whips his dick out, and flops his balls out. So, we got male nudity! Does that count towards the Velvet Owl test? Whatever. I mean, it's supposed to be boobs, but yeah, whatever. I'll let balls count. This movie passes the inverse of the Velvet Owl test, I guess. But none of the girls show their tits, which I feel, you know, they did not hold up their end of the agreement. Granted, it wasn't really an agreement. They didn't say they were going to show their tits if the guy showed his balls, but it was implied. It was implied that if they showed their balls first, but, you know, prudish Light Redhead, she's not going to have any of that kind of fun. So they're going to the hotel, and they're getting the fanciest room, like super, super fancy. It even has its own butler, because, damn it, Light Redhead is like, this is my sister's bachelorette party, so no amount of room is good enough. So it's really super fucking expensive. But, oh no! Her credit cards have been canceled because someone stole her identity and ran up debts, and she won't have new credit cards for a while. So, unfortunately, they can't get the room. And unfortunately, even more unfortunate, there's a shoe convention in town. So they're not going to be able to rent any hotel room. At least not at this hotel. And they're going to have to try to find some other hotel. But There's a shoe convention, so it's gonna be very, very fucking hard. Wow. Is shoe conventions really a big thing? And why didn't you put the deposit when you called to make the reservation? Isn't that how it works? Like, you call the reservation and you make a deposit. Well, I mean, did she make a deposit? Does she lose that deposit now? Because she can't pay for the room. I don't know. But this is why you always pay in advance. Just in case your credit card gets stolen. Blondie manages to find a room at a motel. And Light Redhead, because she's such a snob, she's like, this is an awful motel. Even though the motel offers free porn. Right there on the sign. Free XXX movies. What hotel's gonna offer you free porn? Not many of them. They fucking upcharge you on that shit. But this is a classy hotel that gives you free porn. And then she uses the blacklight app on her phone so that they can see all the dirty stains that are in the room and the semen that's all over the walls and ceiling. You know what, lady? I bet that if you took that blacklight app to that fancy, super rich hotel you went to, find the same thing. So what do you think people are doing in the honeymoon suite, in the penthouse suite at the rich hotel? They are still fucking or jerking off, and there's still semen all over the place. And that shit just doesn't come off. The trace of semen will always be there, will always live, haunting the walls of any hotel. So Blondie has gotten Dark Redhead a present for their party. It's a tiara that has light up dicks on it. Which is pretty cool. I would wear that. I wouldn't even need a bachelorette party to wear it. I'd just wear it, like, down the street on a regular day. Except, it's kind of malfunctioning, because the light up dicks catch on fire, and so does her hair. Oh, but luckily they get it out before too much damage is to her hair. And then she gets butt dialed by her fiance, who's at his own bachelor party, and she can hear there's a stripper spanking him, and a donkey in the room. I don't know if the donkey's being spanked, or if the donkey's doing any spanking. I don't even want to know what's going on with the donkey. Just some sort of donkey show going on. Someone's getting donkey punched. Or maybe they ordered Donkey Kong and accidentally got a real donkey instead. Like, just a little miscommunication there. But so they decide they're going to go to a strip club before they go see Celine Dion. Or maybe instead of going to see Celine Dion. I'm not quite sure on how that worked. Wouldn't it be awesome if there was a Celine Dion cameo in this film? You know what? I would love this film if they somehow managed to get a Celine Dion cameo for this, like, fucking film. That'd be great. And Brunette is, stirring shit and pretty much telling her that, like, oh, your fiance is probably cheating on you. There's one step from stripper to prostitute. I disagree. Just because they both work in the sex work industry does not make them the same. They are fulfilling two different roles. So a guy may want to see a stripper just to see a naked woman, because naked women are awesome. That doesn't mean he wants to sleep with other women. There's degrees to it. It's not even degrees, it's two different things. Seeing naked women and wanting to sleep with other women. And willing to pay money for that. Like, they're just two completely different things. It's not like one step from one to the other. So, then they decide they're going to get her a lap dance. And this is how we get to the beginning of the film, where she's getting the lap dance. Woo! Now we know. And so, and I gotta call racism. I see it. I call racism where I see it. And I don't want to be one of those people that like, oh, this is racism. But the black stripper, his dick is covered up. It's censored. Which I thought, like, okay, just, maybe male nudity, male frontal nudity, they had to kind of cover that up to get the R rating. But we got balls earlier in the film. We got white balls. So you can show a white guy's junk, but a black guy's junk, like, oh, step too far. You can't even get the R rating. NC-17, NC-17. Fucking racist Hollywood. Show us the big black cocks. And, don't be like he didn't really have a big dick, so, we're just censoring it to kind of give the illusion he's a big dick. It's a fucking bit part. Find a big black cock. There's plenty of them out there. Plenty of big black cocks willing to whip their big black cocks out on film. It's not hard. You can do it. Find it. But no, Hollywood won't let you show a big black cock on film. And so, like I said, that is fucking racist. And, so he's doing his lap dance and his big black cock's just flopping all around and at her face. And she's like, oh, no, I don't like it. So she swats the dick out of her face and, oops! She didn't realize there's a hard, fast rule. You do not touch the strippers. I know we think like, that's just a rule with women strippers because, guys are creepy and gross and they shouldn't touch strippers because, strippers are just selling you a fantasy. Like, you can see my naked body and I will pretend to like you for cash. But there's not really a chance, so you're not fucking allowed to touch them. Same thing works with male strippers. You do not touch the male stripper. It makes them uncomfortable. They don't know what you're planning to do. And so they get knocked out or kicked out of the strip club by the bouncer because, there are signs posted everywhere. Do not touch the dancers. It's strip club 101. I don't care, like, you think, like, oh, well, it's a guy stripper, so he'll be happy with me touching his dick. They are not. Because sex workers are workers. They are not selling their bodies. They are selling their time. So, hands off, lady. Hands off the big black cock. So, Brunette decides, we got kicked out of the strip club. Let's go get some coke. As, the logical reaction of being kicked out of a strip club. Hey, it's a bachelorette party. They need to party. Unfortunately, the guy she finds isn't actually a coke dealer. He's just a run-of-the-mill thief, pickpocket. And he forces them to give all their jewelry and their purse. But that's too much for Light Redhead. And she chases after him and knocks him down. And his gun goes off and I guess he's dead. And the police sirens are going off because, gunshots. So quickly, police have to go investigate. But unfortunately, Brunette apparently has a warrant out for her arrest. So they all run and decide to hide in the dumpster. While the police, survey the area and leave, I guess. Why they all have to hide in the dumpster, I'm not sure. Only one of them has a warrant for their arrest. So she could hide in the dumpster while the other three could just kind of, walk around whistling and like, oh, no, officer, we didn't hear a gunshot. We don't know what's going on. So you can mosey on along. But the police leave and one of them, I don't know, they're in night vision now with the camera. So I don't know which one's which, but one of them's like freaking out. I think it's one of the redheads, and one of the other girls helps calm her down by singing What's Up by Four Non Blondes. And, the song like, hey, 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 what's going on? And then, surprise! There's a homeless guy also in the dumpster, and he starts singing, because he knows the words too. Because that was a really fucking huge popular song. So, of course, everyone knows it. And he's singing there, hey, 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 yeah, hey, yeah, what's going on? And it scares the girls, and they run out of the dumpster. Which, they were in the dumpster for quite a while, so kudos on the homeless guy for, being, like, so silent. that they didn't notice him. And he waited till they pretty much got through the entire song before he jumped in and sang along. So I think he was just trying to hide, and he was like, just fighting the urge, like, no, I'm not gonna sing. Damn it, this song is just too good. Hey, what's going on? So they decide, this trip is pretty much a bust at this point, so we should go back home. But oops, we don't have any money because the guy stole it from us, and we can't have anyone wire us any money because we don't have ID, because the guy stole that as well. So did they not bother to try to get that stuff back after the guy died? I mean, I guess okay, you're rushing, oh no, police are coming, this guy's dead, let's get out of here, we don't have time. We have time to grab the camera, but not time to grab our purses and IDs and money and stuff. Which, at this point, shouldn't their wheels be turning okay, we are running away from the cops because we didn't want them to catch us. Oops, our IDs are on the body. I think we're going to be caught. At least they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute. This one lady whose ID is missing has a warrant out for arrest. Let's look for them. Let's put an APB out for them. But anyhow, that doesn't occur to them. But how are they going to do it? Blondie, her husband, apparently doesn't know that she went to Vegas. Which, okay. That shouldn't preclude you from being able to ask him for help. Yeah, he's going to be really fucking pissed off that, you went to Vegas without telling me. Which, how long are you in Vegas for? Is it just for the night? Where does he think you are? Did you lie and say oh yeah, I'm just going to my friend's house to do homework? Sure. So, I mean, he's gonna be pissed off, but he's gonna come pick you up. I don't think he's gonna be an asshole and be well, fuck you. You stay there for however long it takes you to go hooking and get the money to come back. Because, I mean, is that going to be what they do to get the money, is become hookers? I'm guessing they're probably going to, try to win some contest or something. Maybe a wet t-shirt contest. Meanwhile, Dark Redhead, why can't she call her fiancé? Oh, well, I mean, I guess she can't because he's too busy with the stripper and the donkey. So, yeah, he's out of the question. Brunette, I guess, just has no one. She doesn't even offer an excuse why she can't get a hold of anyone to get the money or come pick them up. So it's down to Light Redhead, the responsible one among them. But she can't call her husband because apparently beforehand she was going through the computer, wasn't looking specifically for stuff, but just accidentally ended up on some manhunter site or something. And there's a picture of him getting Eiffel Towered by two other guys. And we see the picture. And, I mean, it's quick, but I saw cock. So, again, white cock, okay for the movie. Black cock, no, we have to censor it. Fucking racism, man. Fucking racism. And apparently he canceled the cards on her. She didn't want to admit that was the reason. So she made up the story about oh, yeah, someone stole my identity. No, and he filed for separation. Which I think, again, in your case, I don't think that precludes you from at least trying to call him. Guilt trip him. He's the fucking asshole. He cheated on you. He's not willing to come out and admit that he was gay, or at least was attracted to men. He could be bi or pan. I'm not going to strictly pigeonhole him as gay, but he was cheating on you. And he went and fucking canceled your cards. You fucking guilt trip that motherfucker. You call him up you fucking asshole. I need your help. I'll give you the fucking divorce if you want. Whatever. But you come and help me, you fucking asshole. You fucking cheated on me. But no. She's just gonna be like... She's gonna let him be the victim. Like, oh, I fucked up so I can't ask him for help. No! He fucked up. He fucking cheated on you. You call his ass. But no, they're not gonna do that. So they're going to find some way to get the money. What happened to the Celine Dion concert? Did they not buy tickets ahead of time? Did they think like, oh, we can just walk up and get tickets day of? That's fucking risky. So that's Celine Dion doing a Vegas residency. I don't know how tickets work on that. Like, do they typically sell out because it's Celine fucking Dion? Because if you had bought tickets ahead of time, you could have sold them for the money. So they go to a bar where there's a Jello wrestling contest going on, and the winner gets $500. So Blondie decides, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and she strips down to her underwear, and her boobies are leaking. She's lactating, which then makes me wonder, like, and this is probably why she couldn't get permission to leave for Vegas. Because if she's still at the lactating phase, then her kid has to be very, very young. So did she just leave the husband with the kid? Which, again, what did you tell him? How did you explain to him that you're not going to be around to breastfeed the kid? And I hope you at least pumped ahead of time so that the kid would have enough breast milk to last while you're in Vegas. Meanwhile, the brunette is trying to mack it on some guy, but he's got a friend. So dark redhead has to be her wingman and distract the friend, who is very handsome and apparently a doctor. And dark redhead lies and says, like, oh, I'm a shoe cobbler here for the shoe convention. And I normally would just skip even, like, bringing this 30-second scene up. But I think he's going to play into this film later. So I'm just going to bring up that she talked to a cute doctor, lied about who she was, and then Blondie goes in for the match. Cut to later where she's in an ambulance spitting up blood. But luckily for her, even though she lost and got her ass kicked mightily, there was a second place prize of $300. So they're sitting pretty. Unfortunately, the paramedic is just like a complete asshole. He's like, you're too old to be wrestling. And the friends are like, no, you take that back. You apologize. And a scuffle happens and they all get kicked off the ambulance. And they're in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, oh no, how do we get back? We're going to have to walk. Luckily, the brunette has swiped some pills from the ambulance. And they decide, fuck it, let's take the pills. Now remember, this is a found footage film. So everything happening is what's being recorded on their camcorder. So they are fucking incriminating themselves left and right here. So they stole pills and they're gonna take the pills. And I don't know what these pills are, but they're fucking happy pills. They are like, they took like ecstasy or something, because they're all lit up like a Christmas tree now. So it's probably like painkillers or something. I don't know, because they each took one. So I'm not sure what kind of pill, like fucking horse tranquilizer or something, that's going to get you like this fucked up from one pill. But I don't really take much medication anyhow. You know what, I don't know if I've ever even actually taken painkillers. Aside from like Tylenol and Advil. That's kind of like extra strength Advil is like the highest level of painkiller I've ever taken. So I don't know how painkillers really like affect you, and if one pill can just fuck you up. I don't know what other kind of medication would really be inside an ambulance. You know, like Narcan and shit to pump your heart back. But yeah, so what? It'd be like painkillers and like things to get your heart pumping again. That's all I can imagine that would really be in an ambulance. I don't know. I am not familiar. I am not a paramedic. But they take the pills. They are, like, fucked up. Go around, have a complete crazy night on the town, which they only have $300. And apparently $300 goes quite far in Vegas for 4 people. So it must be quite cheap. I should go visit Vegas. And they decide they should have some bachelorette party games, which is stuff like tickle an old man and poke a girl with a curly hair in the stomach. Good fun. If you're, like, just fucking tripping balls and shit. But, yeah, they get all their challenges done. And they're in a limo, and one of them's missing. Which one's missing? I forget which one's missing. I think Blondie's missing. So, what happened to Blondie? Oh, Blondie is driving the limo because she stole the limo. Good fun. I mean, well, I guess limo ride was one of the challenges, and their $300 isn't going to go all the way to get them a limo. I think they've already blown the $300. But, woo! And Dark Redhead thinks, you know what, I'm drunk, I'm fucked up, I'm going to put my head out the top of the limo and flash my tits. And I'm all like, yeah! But, turns out the sunroof was closed, and she hits her head on the window. Oops! No flashing of the titties. Boo. You know, film, you couldn't at least give me that. Apparently not. But as they're driving, they see the guy that robbed them. So I guess he didn't die. The gun went off, and I guess he ran off, but left the camera. But that would explain why they don't have their ID. So, but they found the guy, and Brunette's like, well, I'm the one that fucked up, and he robbed us, so I'm gonna fix this. And she has a plan. So the brunette goes and buys a stun gun, which I don't know how much stun guns cost. But they seem to me, like, I would imagine, they gotta be at least 50. But I would imagine that's $100, which is a third of the prize money. How did they make $300 last so long? They really stretched it out. But she also buys some heavy sweaters and some, why can't I think? Beanie caps, whatever. Is that what they're called? They cut holes in them to make home-fashioned ski masks to conceal their identities. Good plan. Except, you know, you're driving around in a limo. Which, how have the cops not found the limo? Like, did the limo driver not, like, call in, like, hey, my limo got stolen. Go find it. And, I mean, there's a lot of limos driving around, so maybe the cops just haven't found this particular limo yet. They're checking every limo, like, nope, this isn't the stolen one. So they go, and the guy, he's a valet parker guy, so he was kind of easy to catch, because they just pull up, and he's, like, going in, like, oh, I'm gonna valet your car, your limo. Like, oh, no, stun gun, you're in the limo now. And so they're asking him, like, where's our stuff? Where's our stuff? Where's the ring? Because she can't get married if she doesn't have the ring. Why did she bring the ring with her to Vegas? Isn't that something you just keep at home until the wedding day? Unless it's the engagement ring. Which, okay, you want to keep wearing that. But you don't really need that to get married. You don't need the ring to get married. But I understand. You need to get your stuff back. Because fuck this guy. Because more importantly, didn't he steal their IDs? And that would be the one thing I'd really be, like, more concerned about. Was like, let's get our IDs and our credit cards back. Light Redhead doesn't care about her credit cards because they've been canceled. But he's saying, like, I don't have anything. I don't have it. And they knock him over the head with one of the bottles in the back of the limo. And they take his wallet. They find $500. Like, woohoo! So now they can, have some more spending money. But the ring's not there. Maybe it's at his house. and they have his ID. So they're going to drive over to his house, and, they don't have to break in because they have his keys. Hopefully, his house key is on that big ring of keys that he has. So it's not breaking and entering, it's opening the door and entering. So they get to the house, and they drag him in while he's all tied up, and he's still passed out. And they're like, well, we're gonna, find out when he wakes up. But, you know what, he's fucked us over, so we're gonna do shit to him. Let's humiliate him. And Blondie's like, I'm gonna write raping pig on his stomach and take a picture and send it to all his friends. Unfortunately, she doesn't... Unfortunately, she can't spell very well, and instead of writing raping pig, she wrote rapping pig. I mean, could be still kind of humiliating, but not quite the same effect as raping pig. So she decides, fuck this, I'm peeing on his face. Which, okay, yeah. This asshole stole your money. So she starts peeing on his face. And the other girls come to a realization, like, wait a minute, I don't think this is the guy that robbed us. And his parents come up, because I guess he still lives with his parents, which if you're a valet in Vegas, you probably can't afford your own place, so yeah, I guess he would still be living with his parents. And they startle the girls, and it causes Blondie to drop a turd on the guy's face. Oops. So Dad's gonna go get the shotgun, and they all run out, and they're like, ah! And they jump into the limo, and they're thinking, maybe we should just quit while we're behind. Just accept failure and ditch the stolen limo. I think that is a good plan. They go back to their motel, but they're really drunk, so they can't figure out which room is theirs, and they're just trying to keys into every room. They're not finding it. But over at the motel, in a room down the way, a bachelor party's going on, and Dark Redhead, who's all, like, pissy about bachelor parties, because, her boyfriend's probably cheating on her at his bachelor party, goes in and sees the bachelor there. He's about to fuck some strippers. So, I don't know. Maybe the other girl was right earlier when she said it's like one step from stripper to hooker. At least these strippers. Although, I don't know if technically if they were strippers, they might have just ordered hookers. So, he went straight to the hookers, no strippers. And also, he's the first... Well, Dark Redhead gets all upset and yells at him that he shouldn't be cheating on his fiancée. And then he seems to be the first person in this movie to realize they have a camera and have been filming everything. Like, you think over at the strip club they would have been like, you're filming the lap dance? That's definitely against the rules. So he gets angry and his dick is censored. So I apologize, movie, for calling you racist, because now you have a white cock that's censored. You didn't censor just the black cock. So, I said black cock, right? Not black hawk. It kind of sounds similar. Black hawk, black cock. If you keep saying either of those words over and over enough, it sounds the same. That's crazy. Black cock, black cock, black cock, black cock. That should be a song. Black cock, black cock, black cock, black cock. Wow, that is stuck in my head. So the bachelor, he's all mad and he's chasing after them, and Dark Redhead girl gets into the van with some random guy, and she's probably going to go hook up with him because she is just drunk as fuck, so the rest of the girls have to go after her. As they're driving, they get into a car crash, which feels like a scene that's just there to kill some time, because they get out, they're like, oh, everything's okay, and drive off. But I only mention it because it could pay off, or there could be a callback to it later in the film. And they reach the hotel, and they think they found the room that Dark Redhead went in, and spoiler alert, it wasn't. And they bang on the door and burst in, and there's a guy and another white cock. Because, you know what? I'm going back to the racism. Yeah, you censored one white cock, but we've had like 3 white cocks. So 3/4 of the white cocks in this film were uncensored. The one black cock was censored. But maybe not racism. I shouldn't, because this white cock was fucking a big black girl, and she's completely naked. We're getting full frontal from her. So I love you, film. I love you. She's a big, beautiful black woman, but she's mad because they interrupted her and she was about to come. And as any guy in a situation like that can tell you, you do not want to interrupt a woman right before she comes. She will be pissed off with good reason, and she will chase you down the way she chases down our heroes. Why am I calling us our heroes? They're protagonists, not heroes, because fuck these girls. They ruined her orgasm. That is not cool. The next morning, they're asleep, and Dark Redhead's fiance calls, and he admits what happened the night before. He lost $300 at the poker table, then he got whipped by a stripper, and then he fell asleep. That's all that happened. And Dark Redhead, she believes him, because he didn't have to tell her that there was a stripper. He could have lied, which is true. So, they're starting off with just trust and communication, and that is good. But then what happens? Her sister bangs some random dude, and then they get in the car and leave, and they decide to rewind the videotape to rewatch the fight where the big black naked woman chases after them and beats them up. In the end, and we learn the fates of of the 4 girls. The one girl, light redhead, gets divorced and opens a marijuana dispensary. That's the word I'm looking for. Brunette gets back together with her ex and then breaks up with him again. Blondie becomes a gelatin wrestler and never wins, but I'm glad she is chasing her dream. And Dark Redhead, she gets married, and she tells fiance everything that happened on the Bachelorette night. The end. Everyone lives happily ever after. And hopefully the tape doesn't come out, because they incriminate themselves so much on that videotape. I hope you delete that videotape. Like, seriously. You kidnapped a guy and peed on him, and took a lot of drugs that you stole from an ambulance. Just, it's bad. Bad, bad, bad. I refer, of course, to both their behavior and the film itself. So, I managed to get through all of it. I managed to get all of it before it expired and went away. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I think that's kind of a bad thing. I think it would have been kind of cool to just be like, I don't know what happened at the end, and I don't give a fuck. Maybe I will do that for a future movie. I just will stop watching halfway through. What will be the movie that finally breaks me where I can't finish watching it? I don't know. I feel like I already did some movie and I just said fuck it and stopped watching it. But till next time, you can email me at velvetowl@hotmail.com if you have any suggestions for a movie you want me to watch, or to, say hi. Or you can leave a comment if you're on the YouTube page. And like and subscribe, because that's what every other person tells you to do. But I love you guys, seriously, even if you don't like or subscribe. And I want to thank the Living Brain Dead for providing the official theme song for Velvet Owl Watches Movies So You Don't Have To. It's called Never Fuck With Catgirls, and you can get it at livingbraindead.com, which you should totally do. They are not paying me for this, so I shill them out of my love for the music.